Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Colombo. Yes, it is our favorite Italian battleship because it's really the only one that's worth it. Lepanto, we'll give it a yes, but everything else not so much. So, let's get straight into this. Now, if you guys remember correctly, last time we took the Colombo out, we decided to go for an accuracy build, and yeah, it's the right decision. I'm sorry. It just is. Building this thing out for secondaries is not your best bet, just due to the fact that the limited amount of being able to use the secondaries just isn't worth it compared to the sheer volume of nastiness that you get out of the main guns. I don't know why these 15-inch guns are so nasty, but they just are. You wouldn't expect it, but they just are. Trust me. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. I know it's got some sort of like better pen or something, pen angles or something, but these 15-inch guns are disgusting. But we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna go to the left side first. We have a destroyer going out ahead to spot, and we have to be careful to not put ourselves in a bad position. But one thing that you're going to notice pretty quickly in this match is that pretty much their entire team is nowhere to be found on this side of the map. So we're going to use that to our advantage and push forward. And this is going to prove another point that I've talked about many times. Every single time that I try to play like semi-passively early in a game, I end up being extremely aggressive because of it. Because every single time, there's never anything here. If I played this like where I go straight in like I normally do, there would have been their entire team right here. But that ain't what happens. But because our destroyer is going in and capturing the base, completely uncontested, we are going to be able to turn in and confidently put ourselves in a crossfire. Now we've talked about this a lot, but guys, you got to start understanding that if you are in a position where you are literally next to every other battleship in your team, you're not doing it right, okay? You got to split up. You've got to create those crossfires. You can't just wait for everybody on your team to be in one position because it just ends badly for you. Now, Mino is behind an island, and I'm not going to lie, I was really hoping to get a good shot here, but he's just outside of my reach initially, and we don't quite have the plunging capabilities to be able to drop these over that island. But the good news is, if he's behind that island where we can't hit him, he also is struggling to get shots over the island. So either he's going to have to reverse to a position where we can potentially shoot him, or he's going to have to come out or go somewhere else. Now, there are two Colombos over here. There's an Alaska over here, so we got to keep that in mind. We get a good shot here looking at the Alaska bow in, so we have to go superstructure. So we do. 16 rounds downrange, and don't have to be accurate. Just got to get enough shells on target to actually make an impact, and 11,800 damage is not too shabby. Now, Colombo starts reversing. We have the other Colombo coming bow in as well. So I'm keeping an eye on him, and look at those guns immediately start looking in our direction, right? We kind of want to wait for him to fire, but at the same time, I don't want to wait for him to fire, so I take the shot because our Yama just went full broadside, and I'm hoping to save him a little bit, but no, this Yama's done. Like, you can't do this, Yama. But Colombo actually fakes me out a little bit, probably a propulsion mod Colombo, but before our Yama goes down completely, our Conqueror helps take care of the Alaska. And so that leaves me and two destroyers on my team on this flank. Now this is the part where I need to reiterate something, and that is destroyers. If there are only two of you in the match, you cannot do what these two destroyers do. You need to split up, just like the battleships, creating crossfires, doing good things. You need to be able to assist the team. Now, fortunately for us, this match is still going to go pretty crazy. Now, Sovietsky Soyuz over here is over-angled, and again, we're going to showcase just how nasty these 15-inch guns truly are. Like, this guy's lucky to not just be outright dev struck here. We get 3 citadels, and we land 8 shells total. But, unfortunately, we're going to take an absolute beatdown because of it. The 2 Colombos that are in a division, the Soyuz that is there, we ended up paying attention. We got the torpedoes in the route, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to fire the guns, or I don't need to shoot the Soyuz. So we're going to get ready to try to shoot the Mino. Now, this Mino has definitely got the perk where he knows that shells are incoming, right? There's a cruiser perk that tells you how many people are looking at you and when shells are in the air. That guy's definitely got it, because otherwise, he shouldn't have known those were coming. Now, I'm waiting for my chance to turn in here until I disappear. I'm outside of the range of most people, so now we're going to go ahead and start turning. We're also not detected, which is beautiful. But look at these destroyers. Now, I'm not going to lie. These destroyers do end up being effective by ending up landing some torpedoes on specific ships. But putting all of your torpedoes in one position is just a bad idea, man. We need spotting on the other side of the map. Those guys are getting their butts kicked over there. We need people that are capturing bases, and that is not what our destroyers are doing. Now here, the Mino is coming back to hunt the destroyers, which is what he should be doing. But, again, he knows that I'm here. So me trying to get rid of this Mino is going to be a little bit trickier than you think. So I don't want to fire right away. I want to try to close the distance, get as close as I can before firing. But as soon as he starts engaging my destroyers, I have no choice. I have to put some rounds down range, try to hit this man, and dissuade him from being able to get rid of our destroyers. But we only land 2 shells. He does turn away just enough to avoid getting dev struck for now. Colombo, on the other hand, has put himself in a position where he is now being crossfired by our teammates on the other side. And so he has lost a lot of hit points. Between the torpedoes and my teammates, they're able to get some shots on him and hopefully finish him off. But you can see he is healing, and the destroyers are starting to go full guns blazing on him. Schlieffen is starting to push into the center of the map here, and I'm trying to aim this, but this island is kind of making it a little bit tricky to, like, see which way he's going. And, of course, I take the shot, and this guy just stops. I don't know. It seems like more and more I'm running into more and more people that are actually paying attention to what's going on around them and able to slow down or speed up and dodge a lot of shells that way. It's an interesting change, but it's one that you have to adapt to, right? But even the best players in the world overextend, right? Doesn't matter who they are. It happens. And that Schlieffen is about to do just that. He gets overzealous. He pushes way too hard. It's a textbook. I have torpedoes and ridiculous secondaries. I'm going to put myself in a situation to get everything going and actually end up putting himself in a situation where everybody can counter it. Now, one of the DDs puts himself in a position where we have a cruiser and a battleship right there, and if he's spotted, that's probably going to end poorly because one of those battleships is definitely a Conqueror. But, unfortunately, he gets away with it. Schlieffen, on the other hand, not going to be so lucky. Now, we go ahead and use our smoke a little bit early here because I want to go dark because I don't want the Schlieffen to know I'm here. And as the Schlieffen comes out from behind the island, you can see I'm trying to see where his bow is at before we take the shot so that we can put it as good a shot as we can possibly make on target to help our teammates. Now, he turns away slightly, which probably, again, saves his life, but we still get a decent result out of that, taking us up to 116,000 damage. But notice the positioning of the rest of the enemy team here. They have 2 caps, we have 1. Okay? We have the points lead because we've killed more people and we've had a base longer. But, I say we've killed more people. We've actually killed the same amount of people, but we've killed... we've had the 1 cap longer than they've had 2. But that points lead's going to go away real quickly if we don't do something about it. And I had gotten in chat and said, hey guys, destroyers, you can't be on top of one another. We need people to split up and actually try to capture bases and do things. I will come over here and help with these ships and get rid of them. Obviously, I'm going straight for the Mino, who, for a moment, forgets about me, and that's going to be his life. In a Mino, you have one chance. One chance. One opportunity. And he's going to blow it. So, yeah. You cannot forget who's around you in a Mino. You just can't. And he clearly did. Now, we've got Colombo coming around the corner, and obviously, when I get this much of an angle on a Colombo, I have to take it, right? Even though he disappears, we just go ahead and adjust a little bit shorter than we were looking to try to get as many shells on target as possible to put as much damage on that Colombo as possible, because he is the biggest threat. Most people would see this Yama and go, oh my god, this Yama is got to be the threat, right? Wrong. Most Yama players are morons. And that's not me saying anything specific about, you know, Yama players, but it is true. I mean, people that play the Yama think that they own the entire world and that they are the most dominant battleship on the planet. And they aren't wrong, but the problem is it makes them sloppy. People just do not understand how to play the Yamato. So we have the Yamato reversing, we have the Colombo over-angled, and so we are going to focus down the Colombo because, again, we've seen what the Colombo is capable of, and again, this Colombo shows that he is capable of thinking and breathing by changing course and stuff, so it's going to be a fight. I cannot go toe-to-toe with both of these guys, especially if that Yama decides to finally switch to armor piercing, because he'll just go straight through our bow. We have the Shima on our right, who has put himself in a position to be countered by our destroyer, which is perfect. We're going to go ahead and be bow into the Colombo. We're going to aim high, and their Colombo is showcasing that he maybe isn't quite as good as I thought he was by shooting the bow of our ship. He does get a couple of shells in there, but that was a pretty terrible shot by him. And while we're bow tanking these guys, the Yama backs right into our crossfire of our torpedoes from our destroyer that went all the way around, which was perfect. And now we have 189,000 damage. We're going to go ahead and shoot superstructure again and leave this guy with just enough to be a problem. And at this point, we know the destroyer is out in front of us and heading to the left, so we know Smallland is out there. It's time to get moving. We're going to go ahead and use our smoke here. Initially, we're going to still be spotted because of the smoke firing penalty from firing our guns last time. But as soon as we go dark, that leaves us an ability. We have spotting. He does not. Right? So he can't see us, but we can see him. Now, we know that there's a good chance that he's running the RGA mod. And if that's the case, he's going to spot us inside 3 kilometers. Fortunately, he's not. That allows us to get enough angle to get enough guns into the superstructure to finish him off, hitting 11 out of 16 shells that we sent down range, giving us 216,000 damage and our second kill. Now our destroyers are going to do what they do best, which is just capture the bases. So it's up to me at this point to survive, right? Fortunately, it's a Smallland, right? We know that the Pan-Euro DDs just don't have the torpedo damage to really ruin you, unless you keep eating all of them. They do reload relatively quickly, and they are fast, so it is difficult for battleships to dodge if they just sit right outside of detection range and dump all their torpedoes. So, at this point, my goal is to, A, chase this guy away, and B, survive, right? By chasing him away, we're giving him a juicy target, which makes him want to kill me, right? Meanwhile, my team is capturing the other bases. Like, this is a win at this point, right? I just have to survive. Or at least try to survive. Easier said than done in a gigantic behemoth of a ship like the Colombo when there's fast torpedoes coming your direction. But we know roughly the direction he is, so we can avoid most of the torpedoes. You're still going to take quite a few, and unfortunately we actually take 4 here, which was really unfortunate. But again, Pan-Euro DDs, the torps are just so weak. Like, you can take these torps no problem. Now, we did just take a flood, so we have to damage con that, which puts us in a position where we could potentially get yeeted by a perma-flood. So now, stakes are even higher, and it's at this point where I'm like, okay, we've done our job, game's almost over, we've got about a minute left, it's time to try to make the turn and head away from this guy. Because if we can get a point where we're heading away from him, then the torpedoes will be a little bit easier to dodge. We can make ourselves skinny, and so the one thing that I'm going to try to do is turn away. Now this is dangerous because, again, he's probably right outside of his detection range, and we know he's got torpedoes loaded by now, so they're on their way, I can guarantee. So, fortunately, we get turned enough that as we turn away, we can pretty much dodge anything that comes our way, right? Wrong. Because we miscalculated where he's at. He actually ends up being much further to the left than I thought. And he has a good torpedo angle on us as we turn away here. But with 15 seconds left on the clock, we have done our job. All we got to do is not die now. With 10 seconds left, oh god, here they come. We knew they were coming. We just didn't know exactly where he was. But again, he's only going to land maybe one, and we've got our damage control back. We've done our job. There's the flood, and we survive. So it's one of those matches where you just kind of like, you do everything in your power to hold as long as possible. 216,000 damage, pushing the flank, showcasing once again that if you just put all your resources and your team on one spot, you're going to have a bad time, guys. You've got to split up. You've got to hold your flanks. If you don't, people like me just going to come around behind you and just ruin your entire flank. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.